he was the first one of them, but not the last one. He was the first. But he asked himself, what were I doing? What would he? And he, in his visions and his use here, he's seen that just, destroyed cities, people and animals, affected with radioactive radiation, and they almost can't move, and it's come from nothing to nothing. Nothing. There's no reason to live anymore,
right?
Because everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
So that's like a vision. I fall in love with Christianity.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, kind of thinking, kind of, experiencing your own life, your own self. And until nowadays, I think and I feel similar way. So I changed my mind, and I stopped. Dramatically difficult to find out the Bible in the Soviet time. And in Alexander, the protagonist paid a lot of money to get the Bible in his hand, which I did myself at that time. I've paid it's half your monthly salary for one book, on the black market, of course. So I
That's
did
a lot
it
of
myself.
money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah, half your monthly salary. So you've decided, and also when I open the Bible, that's my personal view.
Did you know there's a technology that's actually an app on your phone that uses sound waves to tell your brain what you want your brain to do? We had a young man that was on a guest on our podcast, the Mike Litton Experience, who had a traumatic brain injury. He was sleeping 3 hours a night. He's using NewCalm now, and he's sleeping more. Go to newcalm.com, Mike15 promo code. Newcalm.com, promo code Mike15 for an extra 15% off. Go today.
Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience podcast. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. Mike is passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
George Zavershinsky, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. I'm super excited for our time together. And like we talked about before we hit record, everybody has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. So with your permission, we're going to start with where you were born, go up to today, and then we want to talk about this amazing novel that you wrote called Atomic Shepherd. I apologize. I'm tripping all over myself here. The name of the book is Atomic Shepherd, and we're going to go over it sort of chapter by chapter, if that's okay. But thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Mike, for inviting me. I'm pleased to talk to you and to reveal my story of my life, and talk about my autobiographical novel called Atomic Shepherd.
Yeah,
it's difficult to pronounce.
You're saying it better than I did, and English is a second language for you.
Yeah.
I'm like stammering all over myself today. So hopefully I'll be able to talk during this. But we're not off to the best start in the world, right? So where were you born?
I was born in the north of Russia,
Okay.
Arkhangelsk region. That's on the coast of the White Sea.
Okay.
And a city called Severodvinsk, which was and is actually the base of nuclear submarines.
Okay.
And they were built there, and now it's still there. So it's very military part of Russia, and my dad was really much involved into the shipbuilding the first atomic submarine. He was awarded with a state honorary reward, and he was quite well known there in the area. Now he's not alive, but yeah. And we moved from Severodvinsk when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And I start my new life in the capital of Soviet Union, dealing with quite a different people. The pupils in the school and the teachers and the people around you. So you can imagine from far away, move to the real center of the empire, I would say,
Mhm.
Soviet Empire. So I started not bad, not much good, but then I realized that mathematics is my favorite subject, and I want to go on and to do my best to achieve good results in mathematics. Physics a bit less, more mathematics, and I was taking part in some competitions, and
Mhm.
eventually my dad took me and brought me to the one of the best, or maybe the best school with mathematical basis in Moscow, and I was involved in and started my new life in that particular school, and finished it, and then I moved to the also nuclear university, as it's called now, and I I was graduated and start postgraduate graduate scholarship, and defended my first PhD. I applied the special system. At the time, in the 90s, there was no AI, but there was expert systems. It's
Mhm.
called similar, more or less. It's similar, but it's still not so deeply developed. And I applied that system in a control of nuclear reactor, the distribution of power in a nuclear
Mhm.
reactor in Siberia. Was it's very cold region of Russia. Then, in summertime you have 40 degrees up to zero, and
Mhm.
in wintertime 40 degrees minus. So that's so huge difference. People live difficult life there, and they're strong, indeed. But the life is quite short,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the hotel when I was working on my dissertation, and eventually I heard the Chopin music. When the people working for funeral service, and I said, "Well, who's that?" They said, "Oh, that called Ivan or Peter or something from factory number 40. What's wrong? Nothing wrong. He's just died. He lived his life. How old is he? 45 years old. That's normal life expectancy. 45 to 50, 55 maybe maximum.
Oh my goodness.
Maximum 60. It's quite short life, but and but good guys there, and I experienced real productive part of my career as an engineer in nuclear reactors, etc. And then my career changed a lot when I was sitting in a, it's quite special room of a secret division at the university when you write your secret work,
Mhm.
and I was sitting on my own day by day, and I was thinking a lot what I'm doing, what's it for. You're dealing with that, with it, you're producing something. You put your mind, the fullness, the your energy, yourself
Mhm.
into such a destructive
Technology.
develop
Yeah.
technology. Yeah. Oh, why are you doing so? How long you will deal with that? And eventually, day by day, month by month, I changed my mind,
Mhm.
and I decided that. And at that time, I was looking for some spiritual experience around myself. And I fall in love with Christianity.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, kind of thinking, kind of, experiencing your own life, your own self. And until nowadays, I I think and I feel similar way.
Mhm.
So I changed my mind, and I stopped. Uh, I was working a little afterwards in a laboratory, and I was head of a laboratory in a international computer center, and then I changed my mind and go to study theology.
Okay.
And yeah, and step by step, I've become able to be ordained as a priest, and I was sent to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, to Dublin, and then I come back to Moscow, and I was sent to Scotland, in Edinburgh, and then and nowadays I'm in Spain. So that's
So how old were you when you sort of found Christianity?
Yeah, I was Christ age, 33 years old.
Were you 33? Okay. So you were
Yeah,
33
yeah,
when, okay, I got you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
can we back up just a bit? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
So growing up in it, did you say Zvinsk?
Severodvinsk.
Severodvinsk? Okay.
Yes, yeah, more or less.
So from the time you were brand new to 10, what was your favorite thing about growing up there?
Oh, that's interesting. Let me recall. uh, I love the town. I love that the relations between the people. I love my parents, especially my dad,
Yeah.
and his friends. And one of them was eventually was a academic, future president of the Academy of Science in Soviet Union. It's not close friend, but we deal with him. And then another friend of my dad, he became the top figure in the Soviet Union of the dealing with the shipbuilding of the atomic submarines,
Right.
nuclear submarines. So that was quite high level. But at that time, I was growing. I was looking around myself, and I was very happy with everything, especially when my family go. They have a long vacancy, holidays time, and we went to Sochi. That's on the Black Sea area. That's get warm for 45 days a year. So, and I spent my time, and I was very happy with everything. And since that time passed over 50 years, and when I've got 6 years old, I decided to come back to my motherland, my place of my birth, to Severodvinsk, and I discovered our own flat apartment, and it was changed after we left the apartment. It was not anymore for the people live there, but it was like a office for somebody.
Oh,
And
so they converted it.
Yeah, converted it, yes.
Yeah.
And they blocked the main door and used the other door entrance into the apartment. And when I come 50 years later, I found the same door of our apartment with the same number. With it was amazing. Like a miracle.
Yeah.
Using the door which you crossed through 50 years ago.
Gotcha.
And same number on the door, and it's same color. Everything the same, because it was left. Just nobody touched that. So it was like a miracle. I was diving into the depth of my youth, and I also visited some schools, and I love my school. I love my first class teacher. I remember her very well. She was really, really nice, and she loved me as you can, and she called me with a quite tenderly with a little version of my name, and I loved that so much. And also I met some classmates, but just few of them, because it's difficult to live in that to live a long life in that area and survive and be healthy and happy. So many people moved from there, but still there is, and nowadays, unfortunately, it come back, and now they have the new reason to develop this area. We wouldn't talk about the political situation now, but it's still not very positive, not very nice. Yeah, and I changed my mind, and I thought that I better spend my the rest of my life talking to people and listening to them and discovering their personalities and open my own mind towards them and be open to everyone, instead of being secret, physicist or mathematician or secret guy. Nobody knows who you are, where you're from, what are you doing, what are you thinking about, etc. So, and I'm quite active in Facebook, and once I've got the commentary. One guy, when I realized that I used to be a scholar in mathematics and physics, and then I changed my mind and became a priest. And one guy said, "Oh, I would never go for confession to such a stupid, such a fool man." And I realized, because he thought that it's real stupidity to change your mind, and instead of doing progressive and quite an interesting scientific job, you change your mind and go to serve to the elderly people in the church. Yes, and I decided to write a novel, specifically to reveal my own thoughts and my ideas, my heart, my personality, why I did it, and what happened afterwards. So it's an idea to write a book, and I've written 20 books. I've published them, mostly in Russian, of course, and now I changed my mind and I'm writing in English with AI, with the help of literary, agents, but I think there is a lot to speak about between those who dedicated them to, science scholarship and everything, and those who dedicated them to spirituality, to humanity, to progress in your mind and spirit, both of them.
Gotcha.
And also your imagination. And honestly, I was so happy to reveal myself in myself, that I'm able to imagine, to create characters and circumstances which might be interesting for the readers, for listeners. And it's so amazing thing to write novels, to write fiction. Once I was asked in one of the interviews, why you didn't write a documentary about your life? It's interesting, your thoughts, your ideas, your career, your everything, instead of writing fiction. And I said that imagination, it's a gift, and if you leave it behind you, if you don't push yourself to create something new, something, so you would lose it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about Moscow?
Oh yeah. That's
So
fine.
when you were 10, you moved to Moscow, right?
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about growing up in Moscow?
Speed of life,
Mm-hmm.
and instant, changes, and many different characters, strong and interesting, and also competitive and challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I was fighting when I was at school.
Yeah.
You have to fight. You have to defend yourself, physically and mentally. So, and I've that is a challenge, and I love that
You
because
came
when
from
you
a
challenge,
you came from a really small town to a very large town.
exactly,
That had to have
Mike.
been quite a shock.
Yeah, exactly. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I realized that you have to respond. You
Right.
have to behave properly. You have to defend yourself. You have to be who you are, but you have to also honor the others who they are. They are very different from you. There are so many of them. In a small town, you're more or less similar. You know you know each other. You maybe love each other. You respect each other. But when you huge town, capital, and especially at the time. I started my life in the 70s, but and then there was perestroika and Chernobyl happened. I was involved. I wasn't. I didn't visit Chernobyl myself, but my colleagues, one of them visited Chernobyl due to some, promisable things like career, like salary, money, etc. But when he came back from Chernobyl, he died within 1 year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that my colleagues who were sitting in front of me. So and and the Chernobyl dramatically changed the country.
Is
So
Chernobyl in Ukraine?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
in
it
Ukraine.
was.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's still a place that everybody stays away from, right? Because it's still
Well,
radioactive, right?
absolutely. There is
So
30 kilometers zone, completely forbidden to visit,
yeah.
except some tourists, which they convoyed by the professionals and the guides, and then they can visit Chernobyl. They not nowadays, I think, but before the war in Ukraine happened, yeah, there was a uh, possibility to visit Chernobyl.
Gotcha.
But still,
How old were
uh,
you when Chernobyl happened?
I was, I was 26 years old.
Yeah. So when Chernobyl happened, it seemed to be a pivot point in your life.
Exactly.
Was it something where, because it sounds like going up to Chernobyl, you were sort of having questions already, right? You were
Mhm.
questioning what you were doing already. And then when Chernobyl happened, it seemed like it kind of shocked your system. Like it just it rocked your world and made you even more rethink what it was that you were doing. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, you found a good thing to put as a basis to see as a basis of my own personal, changing totally. I've changed totally my mind, and it was like you see it, but I wasn't dealing with, Chernobyl. That was not a military plant. That was
Right.
a plant of energy.
Right.
But I was involved into military plants, which are
Right.
quite different. I
Yeah.
was dealing with reactors many, 3-5 times bigger than Chernobyl one. So,
But
yeah,
what you were working on was a very destructive technology
exactly,
that had the capability of wiping this planet clean, right? Of literally
exactly.
blowing all of us up. And that
You know, you
had to wear on you, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. You remember that time we calculate. I mean, we Soviets and
Yeah.
Americans, we calculate how many warheads do we
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
and there was 6,000 warheads in the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
and around 5 or 6 in the United
Yeah.
States.
Almost
I mean,
6,000 US. Yeah.
yeah. Each one is 10 times or 10 times more than Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right.
So each one of them,
Yeah.
there are 6,000. It's way to nowhere.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you
insanity. It's just insanity, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, Mike. And I was involved in my own. So you live your own life just once from the beginning to the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the end you will ask yourself, or maybe if you believe in God, somebody else will ask yourself, what did you do in your life? What
Yeah.
was it? What was it you lived in?
Yeah.
What kind of things you show me, or show yourself to yourself?
Right.
And if you said, I did huge high technology, high tech for producing warheads. And I said, what for?
Yeah.
And you have no answer.
Yeah.
You don't have answer. Yeah.
Well,
So
the beautiful thing about it, though, is it got you questioning things.
Yeah.
And the questioning that you did led you to change your life dramatically, like completely, right? So you went from nuclear scientist to, and we're talking nuclear warhead type, right? Right? To warfare, to being in the church, to working in the church, and becoming an ordained priest. I mean, those are, forgive me for saying this, but those are sort of polar opposite, right? One's really destructive, and one is, let's put everybody back together.
Yeah, exactly.
You with me?
That's totally opposite thing. You're destructive and compose. You compose life. You starting from yourself. Now, if you let me speak about my own priesthood, so you compose life. On yourself together with the others. So since the time I didn't stop doing some scholarships, and I've done my PhD in theology and philosophy. I've done that in the University of Dublin in Ireland, and I've defended my thesis, and it was awarded with the prize for the best thesis. There is a name. So you see the new perspective. Yeah, you see your life in relations with the others. And there is a great Greek, ancient Greek approach towards your personality, who you are, your consciousness. So you are when you look at the other. So there is we say person, that's Latin word. And in Greek, there is word prosopon, which means looking at the other's eyes to eyes. So then you realize who you are in front of the other person. So it's very wise, like a glimpse from within, destructive, or you always think of the enemies around you, but now you stop thinking of the enemies. You think about the others. I wouldn't say friends, no, but I say the others with the different points of view, different characters, different images, faces, colors, everything. And you realize that through the eyes of each of you, you see someone looking at you as an icon. There is a great, principle in the Orthodox faith, which I'm representing. The Orthodox faith, the principle of icon. So you look at the image of God, or the Mother of God, or saint, or holy man, etc. But they look at you, and you reflect it in their eyes. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So you look, you can see just a picture that just painted or something, but there's different principle of the reverse perspective. So not you looking at the icon, but through the icon you look at yourself with the God's eyes. So you are different. You are different than you ever realized before.
So we're all created in God's image, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Real quick, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Atomic Shepherd and we're specific,
Yes.
your book, and we're specifically going to talk about each chapter and get into it. Okay. We'll be right back. Did you know there's an app that has no side effects that allows you to use sound waves to tell your brain what you want it to do? It's called newcalm.com, and it's amazing. It literally uses sound waves. If you want to tell your brain to go to sleep, if you want to tell your brain to recover, if you want to tell your brain to put you in peak physical state, if you want to tell your brain to focus, if you want to tell your brain to take a power nap, you can do all of these things and more with newcalm.com. Go to newcalm.com today, promo code Mike15. Newcalm.com, promo code Mike15 for an extra 15% off. Go there today.
Okay.
And we're back with George Zavershinsky, and we're talking about your new book, Atomic Shepherd, which is you mentioned an autobiographical fictional work, right? Before the break, we were talking about your faith. And we were talking about how Chernobyl really had kind of a massive effect on you in terms of you'd already been questioning what you were doing, but it really kind of helped you pivot in your life. And you ended up leaving being a nuclear scientist and becoming an ordained priest. And now you were talking about right before the break about how you went back to school and earned your PhD and defended your thesis, right, in theology. That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Can you talk for a second about Atomic Shepherd and specifically what it was that made you decide to write this book in particular?
As I remember, the idea was to convince the reader that there is no kind of stupidity or foolishness when you change your mind in such a dramatic way and go from high tech, high technology, knowledge and experience and development of on the top of the top in the world, and then you change to serve to the other people whom maybe you never know, and now that there is quite lacking their education, lacking their experience, and I want to answer that question first to myself, and then through that honest dialogue with myself, I can reveal that to the reader and show that there is always an opportunity for each of us. If you're not happy, if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're not happy with yourself, if you're not happy with the others around yourself, so you all the time you have a chance to change your life.
Yeah.
And that changing is your way from life to the other being. And that's what I want to reveal. And I started writing my book, remembering the characters, like very well-known Soviet physicist, the father of the hydrogen bomb, Andrei Sakharov. He's very well-known. Then he changed his mind and became a positioner. Also, a madness from the top of the top in the hierarchy of the Soviet Union, the so respected and honored man in the Soviet Union from the state, the government, the people around. He became the punished oppositioner and punished man who was in exile. Instead of Moscow, he was sent to Samara, live on his own with the KGB agents around him. So that was. It's not. I wouldn't dare to compare his life with my own. I'm not in front of him, but that challenging and this answer, that changing of life, it challenged myself, and then I understood that I have to write in fiction when I give some extraordinary, characteristics, potential to my protagonist of my novel. That's not me, because I'm not a high level scholar. I'm just a PhD, and that's it. But because you have to write something interesting, something provocative, challenging, and then so I put it. So his character, Andrei Sakharov, and the other man who is well known in the Soviet Union, and he was killed by, I believe, the special agents on the way to the church. The priest, Father Alexander Min, who is well known in Europe, and I believe some quite number of people in the United States all know this name, because he was involved in the time of Perestroika. He was one of the first priests on the TV broadcast in channel number 1. People can see him and listen to his, not a sermon, but he was able to speak of God, never naming God or Christ or Mother of God, the saint, but speaking, involving them, and speaking of the people, of humanity as it is. He was very talented, extraordinary. He was killed on the way to the temple, to the church, to the temple. Wow. And that's two characters, Andrei Sakharov and Father Alexander Min. They're like inspired me to get my protagonist and to start writing a novel and reveal my own personal experience from my scientific community, the group of the scholars in the university, and I've done it, writing real people, real characters.
Is it safe to say that you wrote this book to inspire people that are not feeling fulfilled in what they're doing to look at other options, like look at other ways to live their life?
Definitely.
Yeah. That's the feeling I get from it, is what I'm saying. And so I feel like you were inspired, and I feel like this is your way of communicating that inspiration to the reader. Like, there are people out there, guaranteed, George, there are people out there that don't feel fulfilled in what they're doing. They don't feel like they're doing what God created them to do, right? You're in a place where you're living your walk, what you've been called to do by God and prepared by God to do. Your whole, right? You're literally living your life in congruence with what you believe God's will is. Not everybody is, right? And there are a lot of people that are in the place you were in back when you were in your 20s and early 30s, where they're searching. They're trying to find what their real God-given role is. Like, what are they really supposed to be doing? Like, I'll give you an example. I was just telling my wife the other day that I'm right in a place with this podcast, with the class, with the teaching that I'm doing. I was just hired as a teacher. I'm now a professional college instructor, right? And it's a lifelong dream. I've been teaching for free for 33 years. Now I'm professionally teaching. Okay.
And, that's good.
And I feel like I'm exactly where God prepared me to be. I'm doing you know what I mean? I'm doing exactly what I've been prepared my entire life to do. And it's really cool. It's very fulfilling and incredibly joyous to know that you're literally doing what you were made to do. You with me? And that's what I feel like you experienced. And I feel like that's what you're looking to communicate by writing this book.
Exactly, Mike. You've told your own story. It's over 30 years. You've got nothing, but you just voluntarily, I think, teaching the people. So, but you maybe it is quite long way. Honestly, but how you were so patient on the way? It's. But I suppose that you believe that that's right way. That what you like to do, what you love to do, and you continue doing that. So that's similar to me myself, but I am a priest. That's I love to do. Also, of course, it's my job. I'm living on that's maintenance in my life, my family, and everything. But still, I've realized that writing novels, fiction books, not documentary, not theology, philosophy, which I used to write. I've got over 11 books in theology published beforehand. So and then eventually it came to me that you are able to create characters. You're able to get circumstances to write something interesting from nothing. It's just just a blank piece of paper or blank screen. You start writing, and then you eventually, step by step, your mind, your heart, your everything involved, even your body, and you create characters. What would be higher and better than me? So I realized that that's my way.
Yeah.
And it's there is no it's not opposite my main profession as a priest or my former profession as a scholar. It's complementary
Yeah.
work. So it's like well, I paid my full respect to yourself, Mike. You spent 30 years, just never know. I suppose you never know that you eventually you get this job. You get some income from that from the. So
No, I
yeah.
wasn't looking for income. I was looking to make a difference. And
Oh yes.
and that's really why I feel like I'm right where I need to be. I started teaching a long, long time ago, and I taught because I wanted people to improve. I wanted to be a vessel to help them succeed, right? And that's how all this got started. I was never looking for an income. I was just looking to help. And then what sort of developed from there was I've continued to give back, I've continued to help, that kind of thing. And then the college that ended up hiring me, they came back to me. I taught 25 years ago. I came down and taught the first free class for them, right? And so it was, this all just kind of came back, and it's true. You do the right thing for the right reasons, and it comes back tenfold. So I want to do this, if it's okay. I want to go over the book, if it's all right. In chapter
Yes.
1, you talk about the researchers. Can you talk about that for just a second, that chapter?
Oh yes, yes, that's interesting. It's nice time. That really joyful time of ourselves. We were friends. We were talking many things. We discussing new things to follow. It's like not a game, but similar to my youth, which I spent in the north of Russia, in this town Severodvinsk. So it was really a good time. And so I real I've just taken the characters from my from reality, from my real life, and put it into my novel. So they're
Gotcha.
very lively characters, very lively, very natural, and so I love it. And they challenge each other. They joke, laugh at each other, and they have one strange figure among them who's really in my real life. There was a scholar bit older than we are, and he was a Jew, and he was very clever, very wise man, very clever. But his mind just was a part of himself. He would never show his mind in its fullness, but he always challenged me with some tasks. He asked questions, unusual, which we are unfamiliar with. We coming from strange atmosphere, and we always think, oh, he is so strange, so provocative, so challenging, but he's so cool.
Yeah.
And we love him. We love him. So the researchers, that's unforgettable atmosphere and unforgettable reality of my own life. So that's why I've written that chapter as the first chapter of my novel.
So what's the project of the century?
There was a military project, and they were working on how to put the most destructive power into the smaller warhead, and there was a decision to put it in a specific order, and which produce highest effective power
Mhm.
with a smaller weight. So it's a military task. So the people, lovely, good people, they work, and they didn't know, didn't realize, didn't ask themselves a question, which my main protagonist asked himself. He was the first one of them, but not the last one. He was the first.
Mhm.
But he asked himself, what were I doing? What would he? And he, in his visions and his use here, he's seen that just, destroyed cities, people, and animals, affected with radioactive radiation, and they almost can't move, and it's come from nothing to nothing. Nothing. There's no reason to live anymore,
Right.
because everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
So he's that's that like a vision, and he's realized that if we put all our energy to produce more and more such things to do. So yeah, but he didn't discuss that with the colleagues. They were just funny guys, and he didn't push them. But then eventually he revealed to them, I I've made a decision to become a priest. He said, "Oh, you laughing? It's a joke." No, it's not a joke.
Mhm.
I'm talking seriously. And the colleagues is okay, but his chief, his boss, he was a strong guy. Which also is from my previous life. It's a strong guy. He said, and when the protagonist said, I would never go to the town in Siberia, Chelyabinsk, for the to mm, um, for the project to be realized. I would never go there. Why? He said, "You're stupid. Take your plane to tickets and go there." No, I would go there. Why? Because tomorrow I'll be ordained. What? What are you speaking about? You stupid guy. I get it out. You lost your mind. So something like that. And he was very emotional, and
Mhm.
he was very strict, very, very harsh language. But the protagonist didn't change. In the past, I'm jumping into the end of my novel.
Yeah.
This guy, the big boss, came to him, to the priest who came back from Chernobyl,
Mhm.
and he asked questions. He wanted him to answer his questions
Mhm.
about life and death, about many things. So that's the way. But in between them, there was Chernobyl, and there was the roof of the a nuclear building,
Mhm.
whereas the highly radioactive materials from the exploded reactor
Mhm.
come down on the roof, and that's high. You can spend just a few minutes there, and then you immediately
Mhm.
have to go out.
'Cause it's too hot.
And it's too radioactive. And
Right.
they were both of them, Father Alexander, in his former friend, an atheist, who was fighting him in his faith, and always make him fool
Mhm.
in your faith. And they were measuring the parameters of the physical parameters of the radiation.
Yeah.
And eventually, when Father Alexander came back, and he was about to leave the area, he didn't find his friend. Where is he?
Mhm.
But the time is gone. He
Mhm.
must leave there immediately, right now. And there was his life choice: what to do.
Mm.
Stand here and go looking for his friend and get more radiation. You
Mhm.
know that which is dreadful, and it's not just dangerous. It's you're losing your life.
Mhm.
Just that. Or leave the area, because the other people said, go out, go out. And he decided come back, and he found his friend, who was broken leg, and they both move back to the door, and that's a challenge. It's obviously that's a fiction. I've put it the situation, but somehow I felt that you also, when you make a choice, your choice of life, you're not, of course, you're not dying, but you move your life into certain direction, which what you want to keep until your death. And that's the way. If you miss the challenge, if you don't accept if you made the wrong choice once in your life, then the rest of your life will be, broken.
Yeah.
So that's the culmination of the novel. I mean, and I really. It's attractive to read it, to make your own thoughts, to involve to see your life as it is, and to realize that it's not the end. There is many more years to live, but still you are on the way, and each time you gotta make your own choice.
Yeah.
And that's your personal decision.
So
which,
in chapter 3, sorry to interrupt. In chapter 3, you talk about the Bible.
Can
you talk about that for a second in the book?
Oh, yeah. There was also difficult, quite dramatically difficult to find out the Bible in the Soviet time. And in Alexander, the protagonist paid a lot of money to get the Bible in his hand, which I did myself at that time. I've paid it's half your monthly salary for one book, on the black market, of course. So I
That's
did
a lot
it
of
myself.
money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah, half your monthly salary. So you decided, and also when I opened the Bible, that's my personal view, and I didn't understand a word. I didn't understand the word, but I realized that that's the book which I want to look through till the end of my life, which I'm doing nowadays and continue to do, and getting more and more. And that's the Bible. And instead, instead of instead of trying to grasp all the content at once, he realized that that's the way. It's not just to read a novel or read some scholar scientific book or something. It's a way. On each stage of your life, you reveal something extraordinary, something supportive, and really, really intimately personal. You realize that it's not just somehow we say word of God. What does say God? God in yourself. Yourself is and up, and you're available to yourself. It's availability to yourself to find out why are you reading this book. Why it's not easy to follow it.
Right.
And so they go the way. That's the revelation. And Alexander, he spent a lot of time to study. As myself, I've studied 8 years to become a priest and to become a scholar in Bible study, in theology and philosophy. I changed, from mathematics to theology. It's great change. So I have to study history and philosophy and everything like completely. And also I still very logical in my own mind, as well as my character in the novel. So you look through and you have to find why. One, A, B, C, that like stages on your conclusion to conclude. So it must be clear to you why are you going this way.
Right.
So,
I got you.
that's important. That's the reason.
So in
And the
chapter,
Bible.
oh, sorry.
Uh-huh.
In chapter 4, you talk about the Village Project.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because that's led. So he was ordained, and he was assigned as a priest in some small parish in the Moscow suburbs, where it was church warden, who is a KGB agent, obviously that who was writing reports to the KGB, especially about this stupid physicist who became a priest, and the people who were around him. And there's some elderly women around him, and eventually, step by step, people from Moscow come down to visit him and to talk to him and to get the answers for the questions. And and that's the also real story, which I've seen in my own life. I've started not as a priest, but started my experience in a parish, in a communications with people from Moscow suburbs, from the village, small church in the village, and then I moved with a priest who was my spiritual guide. With the priest, moved to the center of Moscow, in front of the Moscow government. So that was a big challenge as well. And I started studying.
Especially with the KGB watching you, right?
Oh yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
So you talk about Chernobyl's light. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yes, that's a sort of mystery. And there is also one church, not one, but church with a priest who stayed in Chernobyl because he was pushed go out of the secret zone. And he said, no, there's nowhere to go. I stay here and I will die here. And then the priest, Alexander, priest and physicist, come over and they serve together in the church, and they saw the similar colored light as it was in Chernobyl, the radioactive zone. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
If you probably notice some readers, many people saw the serial Chernobyl recently created and very thoroughly developed, and that's very good movie. And there was light, and the people. That's in reality there was light seen in the sky, especially in the night. It was called like pink or blue pink light, and the same color the two priests serving the liturgy in the church saw when the sun come down through the window, and they saw on the icon. So the similar light in Chernobyl and in the church. So it's like a mystery, but it must be there. I feel that we are lacking sort of not mysticism, but sort of imagination. Otherwise, we just it's very boring to speak only on technology and high tech and artificial intelligence and everything. But think about mystery, about the sacrament, about yourself. You won't be able to speak who you are if you're not experienced in the mystical or spiritual reality. So it's just part, a little bit, but I put that in my novel intentionally, just to get the reader think of him or herself, within him or herself, about mystical, presence, mystical self. That's an important. So I think it's a real good image, and a real good bridge between yourself and in the outside reality, outside world, which is also such a fragile and yeah. Okay.
So chapter 6, you talk about new relations. Talk about that for a second.
After what happened in Chernobyl, the researchers previously in the beginning they were like like funny guys that they working on a military project, producing some scientific ideas for the military area, and they didn't think about it. They just thought how you are, the anecdotes, jokes, and laugh and etc. And in the end, after they come back from Chernobyl. And they realized the two of them, Father Alexander and his atheist friend, they've got a lot of radiation, and their lives started back towards days. So they think of coming down because and then when they saw that his friend died with cancer, blood cancer, etc. And Father Alexander, he is already in a hospice in Moscow, and yeah, the new relations. They realize that life is so difficult that they used to see that what it is. So and even as I said, even the big boss, he came to the priest asking different questions, and never he was a bit ashamed of his former thoughts and former words. Just a little bit. He's a strong guy, still strong guy, but he was challenged and asked question of life and death and faith in God, and they faced. So it's a way like you have to be aware of your own capacity to think of death as it's not a death, it's just the changing, transforming of yourself into yourself. It's not a matter of your belief, it's a knowledge of yourself. Because yourself never dissolved, never disappeared. It's your consciousness. It's not like, and I finished a new novel. It's going to be published in London about AI and avatars and like neural image of yourself, but not yourself, of your mind, of your memory, of everything. And some laboratory tries to steal your consciousness. No, take it off, and it is just impossible. But you have to know, you have to follow that. Why? What will happen if they know who you are? So it's a challenge, and your consciousness never be out of yourself. It's you yourself, and you go through the life and death, and then you always exist, but you always aware of your own self wherever you are. If you're sleeping, or waking up, or working in a military project, or serving the elderly women, or writing a book, or everything. So you are who you are. And if you teaching the people how to progress in their life, inspire them to get better achievements and better choices, and then you spend your life to help them, to see them happy. That's what I think, Mike, we're looking at. And happiness, it's eternity.
Yeah,
that's my faith.
So chapter 7, you talk about Xenia Urshov. Talk about that for a second.
That's the guy who died after Chernobyl, who was with the Father Alexander on the top, on the roof of the nuclear reactor block, and he was highly radioactive poisoned with radiation, and he came back and died. So that's his story. It's
Right.
like he's an atheist. He's totally against any faith. He said, "Oh, that's some from the elderly women, some babushkas." Do you know the word babushka? That elderly women, they call it in Soviet Union. It's like women dressed with all clothes and just cross themselves and kneeling and bowing their heads and yeah, it's it. We are challenging the world. We are working with progress, and he was an atheist.
Yeah.
He strongly reject any faith in God or supernatural power or something. Beginning of the beginning. No, you are in yourself powerful, and you is the source of your own life, and the Father Alexander. So they friends and they opponents at the same time. And Father Alexander saved his life, which is not long life, but still he did it. And then his name is Eugene Zhenka in Russian, in Zhenya or Zhenka, Eugene. He came back to Father Alexander and also asked him what is life and what is death, when I am going to, what is going on, and I want to know. I want you to answer my questions. That was after Chernobyl happened, so it's really, really dramatic, figure, and drama must be must be there. I believe drama is not just to make you disappointed or in bad mood after you've read the book, but just to challenge yourself and push yourself to think of something extraordinary, something which you never thought about, but now you start thinking.
Yeah.
It's never late to start thinking. So
I agree with
that's the
that.
challenge.
And that's exactly what your book does. It absolutely makes people think. It's called Atomic Shepherd. And I cannot thank you enough for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. If somebody's looking to buy your book, where can they find it?
Yeah, everywhere, Amazon and all the platforms, and in different countries, it's everywhere. Just Atomic Shepherd. You Google it and you find the book, and my own personal author's website, George Zavershinsky, small letters.com. George Zavershinsky, one word, small letters.com. So yeah, and I support the blog and challenging questions and a good job, and I hope to meet with you again.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
George. George Zavershinsky, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. This has been an amazing time, and I've loved every second of it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Can I ask you a question? Did you know that there's a technology that uses sound waves that'll tell your brain what to do? There literally is. It's called newcalm.com. It can tell your brain to heal, tell your brain to sleep, tell your brain to do all kinds of things. It can get you fired up. It can be a pre-workout. Newcalm.com. And the promo code is Mike15. Newcalm.com, promo code Mike15 for an extra 15% off. Go today.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at the Mike Litton Experience.